When I moved to California 8 years ago, I came right from New York after being there for 5 years, and then 2 years in Pennsylvania, and then my hometown of Detroit, Michigan. And so, I worked in higher ed, worked in the student housing and residence life, where I lived and worked in the same place, right? And so my community, I had instant community with the folks that lived on campus with me, and conversations about social justice, about equity, about diversity, inclusion, et cetera, were just a mainstay, right, of the culture in higher ed. And so when I got promoted and then ended up moving off campus in 2018, I moved into LA, this incredibly large community, and I did not have that instant community of folks that I could journey through life with. And for a while, I felt a little bit like lost, I would leave work and just go right home. And I'm like, well, this is what life is when you're not living on campus and living in the dorms. And so, it was pretty rough, right? And as a transplant to LA, I think that what makes the experience more enriched, right? What makes it worth living is when you can travel and journey through this experience with a tribe of folks who get you, right? Who understand your worldview, who, again, may be diverse in terms of background, geography, perspective, but, you still feel the same way about justice. And so I was delighted when I learned and came into this community in 2019, which was then Social Venture Partners LA. And my life has been changed ever since, right? And so now I have a place, right? I feel like I found my people, and every issue that you can imagine, and they've all been covered here, from homelessness, hunger, poverty, foster youth, domestic violence. I mean, everything that plagues our nation, everything that plagues our city, folks are like actively working to solve it. And that gave me so much life. It fueled me. It gave me a sense of purpose, and honestly made LA feel like home, finally, to me, when I met the folks at SJPLA. And so I feel incredibly grateful. And then one thing I want to sort of note is that these were also the folks that inspired me. So they invested into the things that I cared about, which was community college homelessness, right? And so the folks that are on this call right now, Sarah Coulter, I'm going to call you out, was made the first donation to my nonprofit, and saw us go from her first donation to now we've raised upwards of $1 million this year. And so, it's because of the folks like Melissa Jones, who not only became a donor, but became a friend, and we get to sort of break bread on the weekends and walk through the Descanso Gardens, right, on the weekends. So these are folks that are not only supporting you in your journey to sort of make LA a great place to live, but also who are trying to build community with you and build friendships and relationships. And so these are people from all walks of life, all industries, that are together because they care. Right. Another thing that I think is really, really magical about this community is that, when you watch the news and you read the newspaper and you're like, oh my God, this is an issue in our city. Who's working on this? Right? Who's going to do something about this particular issue? And now that I'm a part of the SJPLA family, I can say, oh, wow, there's an issue happening in the criminal justice system. I can easily call Taina at Initiate Justice or Sam Lewis at ARC to say, what's happening about this issue and how can I become more involved? Right? Or if there's an issue about transit, I can call Laura Raymond from ACT LA and say, Lauren, what's up with the Metro and how can we make it more accessible and how can we democratize it? And so I feel incredibly blessed to be a part of this incredible community. And I invite you, right, to partner with us to do this work.